Let's start.
வணக்கம் அன்பு தமிழ் நெஞ்சங்களே. On behalf of புரட்சி கவிஞர் பாரதிதாசன் தமிழ் மன்றம், I warmly welcome each and every one of you to this special International Mother Language Day celebration. Today we gather not just as individuals, but as representatives of our mother tongues. Our first identity, our emotional compass, and the foundation of our culture. Let me begin the celebration with a powerful words from Bharatidasan. He is a revolutionary poet who decided his life to the language, identity, and the social upliftment. He told, தமிழுக்கும் அமுதென்று பெயர், அந்த தமிழ் இன்ப தமிழ் எங்கள் உயிருக்கு நேர். Which means the language is not merely a system of words, but it's a life force, a nectar that nourishes the soul of every human being. So language is the first gift we receive from our mother. Through it, we experience love, knowledge, emotions, memory, and everything. For the Tamil community and people across the globe, our mother tongue is not just a communication, it is a heritage, it is a history, and it is an identity to us. International Mother Language Day reminds us of profound truth. When a language thrives, culture thrives. When a culture thrives, the humanity thrives. Today even brings together 4 eminent scholars and leaders who have contributed significantly to linguistics, culture, technology, heritage, preservation, and community upliftment. Let's now begin with the scholarly journey. So it is my privilege to officially welcome all of our distinguished speakers, esteemed guests, and participants from across the globe. Thank you for being here to celebrate the beauty, diversity, and power of mother tongues. Our first distinguished speaker is Professor Garapati Maheshwar Rao from Hyderabad, India. He is the former professor and director of CALTS at the University of Hyderabad and currently serves as an honorary professor of linguistics at Central University of Kerala. Professor Rao is a pioneer in language technology and medicine translation for Indian languages, genetic reconstructions of Dravidian, Mongolian, and Turic language families. His scholarly contribution includes numerous published books, over 100 research papers in national and international journals, over 1,000 articles on language, economy, linguistics, and mother tongue-based education. So his leadership roles are, he is currently the president of Linguistic Society of India, and he was a president at 2021 and 2024 between that period, and he was a president of Dravidian Linguist Association. Currently, he is the president of Telugu, Vashodaya, Samakhya. I think that I told correct after. And he is a member of Sagitya Academy General Council. He has also received the Government of Andhra Pradesh Distinguished Awards in 2011 and 2018, and he also a recipient of Nava Urashi Samana 2004. It is our honor to invite Professor G. Maheshwar Rao. The screen is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay. Can I share this one? Okay.
Yeah, you are allowed to share, yes. There is a sharp green color button at the bottom.
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Can you see that one?
It's loading.
Right. Now it is visible.
Yep.
Okay.
We can see it, yeah.
Okay. புரட்சி கவிஞர் பாரதிதாசன் தமிழ் மன்றம் organizes, particularly Dr. Dharai Kannan and other fellows who are there here, Dr. Bhupender Kumar, Swarnam Shankar, Prashant Pandian, and Tenmolippan, and others. Vanakkam, Namaskaram, and Sat Sri Akal. Thanks to everyone. This is, of course, organized on the occasion of the celebration of Mother Language Day. which happened to be on 21st, but of course, for the facility of celebration, we have selected on 24th of this day. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me for this audience. And I would like to present a very short one, particularly on mother tongue as a medium of instruction for social and economic development. And I just go through quickly on some of the points, but I'll spend more time on why we do need today more emphasis on mother tongue as a medium of instruction. So I give certain statistical figures across the world, and then I will let you let me convince you on this. So first, the language and society. Of course, I don't have to give introduction as already my preceding speaker who has introduced Prashant Pandyan has told everything about that kind of thing. So I'll skip some of these things because I want to save some time towards this. But see, yardsticks of democracy. These include right to live with dignity, and right to freedom, and right to express our opinions, right to privacy, and right to education and employment. But these are not the only ones, but right to speak in our language. Every native speaker must be allowed to speak and express in his own language is the primary thing, and also a litmus test for the democracy, right? If you are functioning in a democracy, that means you are using your mother tongue in all walks of life. If we miss that one, that means our democracy is not functioning in a proper way. The next one, the necessity of education in the mother tongue. Just as right to live is innate, just as the right to live is innate, and education one's ancestral mother tongue is essential for a dignified life. I'll skip all these things. Let us talk about certain facts and figures of the 2011 census in India. Our population was 125 crores, that is 1.247 billion people, according to the 2011 census, because we don't have a census conducted after this year. All those other figures, what we get are actually only those projected figures. The literacy rate was 74%. That was very low according to the world literacy figures. Primary education was only 52%. Secondary education was 37%. Graduation, 6.7%. That means India had only 6.7% graduates in 2011, and non-formal education was only 3.6%. So actually, we stood at very low literacy rates. That means those people who go to voting do not have actually sufficient amount of knowledge obtained through newspapers and other media, international media and other things. So we just go by again our let's say cultural leaders and etc. We listen to them. We are driven by their aspirations, and then we vote, and we get kind of people that we are ruled by them today. Another one, economic activities and languages in India and states. Based on 2011 data, we have 82.73% of our GDP, gross domestic product, is obtained through various economic activities, is conducted in the mother tongues. Get this one very clearly. Our GDP, maximum amount of our GDP, that is 82.73%, is obtained through working through mother tongues, and only 17.26 are through working in English. Okay, get this data. Can you see these figures? Can you see this table?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes, we can see it, yeah.
Okay. So there are economic activities. The first column shows economic activities: agriculture, fisheries, forestry, hunting. The second is manufacture and repair. Third is actually construction and other things. And fourth is mining and quells, restaurants. And sixth is the transportation, storage, and communication. Next to wholesale and retail trade, and electricity, gas, and water supports. Next, ninth is public administration and defense. That means people working in these areas. And 10th is actually finances and other activities, right? Economic activities, etc. So the second column represents GDP obtained by the sector-wise, okay? So many lakhs of crores. And the third column is actually GDP, percentage GDP in sector-wise, and percentage of graduate workforce who worked in this, percentage of graduate and their contribution in the fifth, and percentage of non-graduate workforce contribution, of third and sixth, non-graduate workforce contribution, and the eighth column is percentage of literates, and percentage of illiterates in the ninth column, and percentage of graduate workforce by illiterates. And 11th column is actually percentage of other than the graduate workforce contribution, combining 7th and the 10th. So what we get towards the end is actually this one. To facilitate this one, languages of economic activities. In the Indian languages, it is actually each sector-wise. For example, 13.54% of GDP is contributed by agriculture and other auxiliary sectors. And in the manufacture and repair, it is 15%. In the construction, 7.5%. In the mining and quarrying, it's 2%. And combining actually transportation, storage, and communication, wholesale and retail trade, etc. And etc. is combined into 24%. And electricity, gas, and water supply by 1.4%. And public administration and defense, etc., by 9.42%, and finances and other economic activities by 9%. So the total contribution of mother language working force is actually 82.73%. Whereas its other side, English people, the workforce in English is contributing to 17.27 workforce. So this table shows you through the statistics supplied by Government of India in 2011, who is working in which field by using which language is actually the figures are here. So majority of the gross national product, the gross domestic product is obtained through working in Indian languages, that is 82.73%, and through working in English, it is only 17.27. So very clear that in India, maximum amount of gross domestic product is obtained through working in Indian languages or working through using Indian languages. Okay, I will just go through and then show other language, each language in each state. In the Telugu states, both in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, it is about 84.52%. And English is actually much less. It is about 15.48%, rather less than the actual the Indian level. In other states, of course, it is much less. More and more Indian languages are being used in each other states. So this, I don't want to repeat again in the Telugu states. This table clearly tells you who is working in what language in the Telugu states. So I don't want to spend much time on this one. I would rather actually go for the other things. And why we need to work through the mother tongue, right? For example, across the world, countries leading in patent acquisitions and patent licenses, because in the modern world, the measure of countries' intellectual strength and wealth is actually determined on the basis of the development of patents. Means which country acquires more patents. So we can actually determine why and how they are getting these patents, right? In South Korea, where the population is approximately 5 crores, comparable to the population of either Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, or of course, in each state like Tamil Nadu or etc. Number of patents obtained is this, more than 135,000 patents. And this boils down to per lakh persons. For each lakh of persons, 262 patents are obtained in South Korea, right? And in Japan, for each lakh of population, 161 patents are obtained in Japan. And in USA, where English is the major language, it is only 97 patents are obtained for each 1 lakh of persons in US. Whereas in South Korea, it is 262. In Japan, it is 161. And in China, for each 1 lakh of persons, 57 patents are obtained. In Israel, per 1 lakh of population, 56 patents are obtained. In Canada, 46 patents. In Germany, 31. In France, 18. In Russia, 16. In UK, where English is the mother language there, it is only 15 patents. In India, it is 2 patents. Why? Because our higher education is only done through English as the major medium of instruction. So we are stuck with using English as the major medium of instruction in the higher education or in tertiary education. That clearly shows that whichever the country which uses mother tongue as the medium of instruction, as in South Korea, in Japan, USA, China, Israel, Canada, Germany, France, Russia, UK, wherever in these countries, their mother tongue is the medium of tertiary education or higher education. So these countries are actually contributing in a larger way in the development of intellectual growth. They are on the higher pedestal in strengthening their countries, both in the technologically or in the economically, right? So that in India, because we do in higher education English as the medium of instruction, we are performing very badly. So this is the kind of picture that gives us to tell us that we should actually study through medium of instruction in our native languages. And of course, what is
Professor,
happening,
quick time check,
because
Professor.
when we actually,
Sorry to bother you.
yeah, so use of higher education in English, it actually only helping winning of our human relations, declining literacy rates. That's why our literacy rate was actually stuck at 74%. And diminishing employment and livelihood opportunities. We don't create any livelihood opportunities in India. We look for English educational countries like America, Canada, Australia, etc., etc. And global ranking and unemployment rate. We see that language which construct actually do their mother tongue education have low unemployment rate, where English is being used as an educational instruction. In India, unemployment rate is very high as you go down. And English education in India is a rising criminal, contributing to rising criminal tendencies, and wealth creation is at lowest rate, and weakening local industries, and it is the fading literary creation, and it is of course the artificial intelligence aided by machine translation and it is revolutionizing seamless contribution to exchange of information across languages is not possible, right? So AI-assisted large language models, building machine translation systems through machine learning contributes to seamless information exchange across languages. Now we don't have to depend on English education because machine translations contributes to across language information exchange. So we don't have to worry today, depending on English as a medium of instruction in tertiary education or higher education. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Rao. It was a
Yes.
for your very deeply insightful, inspiring address. You just gave multiple perspectives. One is about GDP, right? Learning the languages and using the local language as a source of GDP is definitely sliding towards an up kind of the right way. And it has more than whatever state you just choose, it is more than 80% of the income comes from the local language. That was a very good statistic, right? You just saw Telangana, you just saw even the countries that was always inclining towards the upside. At the same time, when you also show the number of patents, 1 lakh, and what is constraining us to not produce a patent is also because of the higher education that is limited to English and you cannot able to create more because you don't learn in language. This is a very deeply insightful and inspiring address. Professor Rao, your perspective on this linguistic heritage and language technology definitely greatly enriched today's celebration. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So the next speaker, yeah, you can stop sharing the screen. I'm going to call the next speaker. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Rao. The next speaker is Dr. Bhupender Nayak. Dr. Bhupender Nayak, a distinguished technologist, academician, author, and veteran. So he is educated in Javakhar Navodaya Vidyalaya and served as the Indian Air Force for 2 decades as a competent member. He holds a degree in Punjab Technical University and Chaudhary Devi Lal University. He is a qualified UGC, NET and Raj Set in Computer Science. He has a PhD in IT from NIH Shillong. So he served as associate professor at CSC at Purnima University, Jaipur, and now works as a gazetted officer in the Department of IT and Communication, Government of Rajasthan. His literary contributions include translation of 2 major Rajasthani works into English, and he published a poem and numerous research papers in cybersecurity. We are honored to welcome Dr. Bhupender Nayak, sir. Sir, the screen is yours now.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction, sir. And good morning, Vanakkam, and Sat Sri Akal to each and everyone who is present on this international panel discussion on the occasion of International Mother Day that is being organized from United States. So today, basically, I will be sharing my thoughts in support of Rajasthani language, basically on 3 points: the historical significance of Rajasthan, its cultural depth, and its the need for greater recognition. Although my heart and my perspectives are rooted in Rajasthani, but I will be delivering my remarks in English. This is simply so that I can ensure that our diverse international audience can fully understand and engage with this discussion. So I kindly request that this choice of language should not be misunderstood. It does not lessen my commitment to Rajasthani, but rather it is going to reflect the inclusivity that is required in this global form. So starting from the historical perspective, let me say that golden period of Rajasthani language and literature is generally considered from 15th to 19th century. So during this period, the Rajasthani language, it flourished through various ballads, poetic composition, historical chronicles, and various folk narratives. So if I consider from 15th to 16th century, this 15th to 16th century, these eras are the rise of Dingle and Pingle poetry. Dingle and Pingle is two kind of poetic versions in Rajasthani language that appeared in 15th to 16th century. So these poetry were composed by various chants, bhards. They actually celebrated the valor, the devotion, and moral value of the community, of the day-to-day life of Rajasthan during 15th to 16th century. So, yes, of course, Dingle and Pingle are basic pillars during 15th to 16th century. But Dingle and Pingle, they're having some difference between these two. This Dingle poetic version, it is having high tone, formal style of Rajasthani literature. And basically this Dingle, this has got developed from Upper Bruns, the old Western Rajasthani around the 18th century. And primarily this Dingle was used by Charan, Bhat and Jain poets to compose various heroic, chronicles. And chronicles means we call them in Rajasthani khayat and epics, rasos, etc. So the theme of Dingle was valor, devotion, cosmic reflection, and various moral techniques. This Dingle was also having various subgenre, Jain style, Charan style, cosmic style. So these are the subgenre of Dingle. Similarly, this Pingle was also there, but it was softer. It was a lyrical style of poetic version that blended the Braj Bhasa and Rajasthani together, and various literature were created in Dingle and Pingle in that way. So on this, the theme of this Pingle was basically love, devotion related to bhakti and everyday life, and the cultural expression of Rajasthani life during that 15th to 16th century. And this Pingle was basically musical, was having musical tone, and it was the literature of the Pingle was performed in the folk gathering and religious context. Next, if I consider the historical perspective of this Rajasthani language, then let's consider 16th to 18th century. During this 17th to 18th century, various rasos in Rajasthani we call them rasos, but basically they are epic poems. Then Vanshavalis means genealogies, and khayat means historical account of the kings and all, they emerge. So these are basically the literature forms that emerged from 17th to 18th century in Rajasthani. Various works were also created like Dalpat Vilas, and one poet Nancy was also there. So they created various these rasos, vansavalis, khayats, and they documented the historical and cultural aspect of Rajasthan during 17th to 18th century. And if we come to 19th century, Colonel James Todd has written a book, Annals and Antiquity of Rajasthan. That book was heavily took its insight from Rajasthani literature only. So that's how you can see the depth and influence of the Rajasthani was not locally or not in the Rajasthan itself, but it was internationally. So why I should call this period as global? Because as golden, because during this period only, the Rajasthani was not only a medium of folk and courtly expression, but it was also a repository of history, valor, and cultural identity of this desert land. So it preserved the ethos of Rajasthani through poetry, various chronicle, various oral tradition, and unmatched richness and variety during these 3-4 centuries. And yes, we should also see when the first word Maru Bhasa was there in the ancient literature. Yes. So Udyotam Suri was a Jain monk. He created Kovlay Mala in 779 century. So it was created in Jablipur, that was the present-day Jalore in Rajasthan. So this was basically created in Prakritik and Apabhrans Bhasha. And the content of this was a story of Faiz shawl that was undergoing rebirth. But beyond its narrative, it is the treasure of social, cultural, and linguistic references of 18th century of Rajasthan. So this Uvle Mala is an important religious text, and this Uvle Mala has the early references to Maru Bhasha, means the language of Marudhara, the language of the desert land Rajasthan, and this Uvle Mala is not just a Jain religious text. It is also a social and cultural history of Rajasthan. It documented everyday life, the custom, the linguistic diversity of this desert land. So it mentioned that word, I was saying Maru Bhasha. So it mentioned the Maru Bhasha word and provides the linguistic evidence to the Rajasthani language that was used centuries before the modern Hindi and other language consolidated. So this language, Rajasthani was using two script, Mahajani and Mudia. So this Mahajani was basically a commercial script. We said that this is a banker script, and then this Mudia was also a variant of local adaptation of Mahajani. So why I had to discuss this Mudia and Mahajani, because they have prominent role in Rajasthani literature. Many early manuscripts of Hindi, Punjabi, Gujarati, and Marathi in their Adikal or maybe Madhyakal period, they were originally written in these scripts. And this modern Devanagari, Gujarati, and Punjabi script, they evolved from that Mudia script. So that is the interconnection between the script and the cultural heritage of Rajasthan. And now I want to discuss about one Shabdakos that was compiled by Sitaram Lalas, and it is a kind of encyclopedia of Rajasthani or dictionary of Rajasthani. So this was the first systematic and scholarly dictionary of Rajasthani. So this Shabdakos, this is a multi-volume work that was published during 1960 to 1970s, and it documented lakhs of words, and it covered the words from various local dialects also, maybe Marwari, Mewari, Shekhawati, Bagadi, Dundhadi, and other Rajasthani dialects. These dialects are being spoken in Pan Rajasthan. So this Shabdakos, the Rajasthani dictionary, is very, very important. It is having various idioms and proverbs. It's not just a vocabulary, and this is having a historical significance because it provides linguistic evidence that the Rajasthani was a distinct language and not merely a dialect of Hindi. Rajasthani is a separate language, it's not merely a dialect of Hindi. So this Shabdkosh, or we say this dictionary, this was created by Sitaram Lalas, and for this he has got Padam Shri Award also. And it is very important because it is going to give us the linguistic heritage of Rajasthan. It is strengthening the case for official recognition of Rajasthan, and for various scholar and translator and cultural advocates, it is going to be a reference tool. Now I want to spend some time why the Rajasthani language has to be given the constitutional recognition in India. And then I'm going to finish. I'll spend 2-3 minutes more on this. And Rajasthani was the official language of Malwa, Umarkot. Umarkot is now in Pakistan. before India's independence. So thousands of handwritten manuscripts in Rajasthani are still preserved in various research institutions, and they are awaiting publication. The early and medieval period of Hindi, Punjabi, let it be Gujarati, Marathi, and these literature originally written in Rajasthan. As I said, Mudia script was used for these literature, and from this script, the national script Devanagari has also evolved, and modern Gujarati and Punjabi script they have also evolved from Mudia. So yes, we have that historical perspective of Rajasthani, and Rajasthani is very rich in poetic forms and various meters. This Rajasthani is having as many as 120 variation of poetic meter. So no any other language in the world does have that. It is also used as a medium of teaching and research in Rajasthan Board of Secondary Education, in our various colleges, universities, and it is also recognized by UGC. And UGC is also conducting the UGC NET exam in this. Rajasthan SET exam is also being conducted in Rajasthani. So yes, other fact and factual figures have already been discussed by Professor Rao. He said that because if we think something in our mother language and then we use it in our day-to-day life, yes, economic reform and economic holding will be there with the user of that particular mother language. And if I talk about Rajasthani, so this Rajasthani various programs are also being broadcast by All India Radio, Doordarshan, newspapers, magazine, television channels. So various films are also being made in the Rajasthani, and so this Rajasthani has become a tool, a powerful tool of cultural expression. And recent years, there is a city in Rajasthan, Suratgarh. The world's only Rajasthani Ramlila has been staged there continuously from so many years in that particular city. And if I talk about the international status of Rajasthan, yes, Rajasthani has been acknowledged as one of the world 30 richest languages by the Library of Congress USA. So this Library of Congress USA, it has preserved 75 minutes recording version of Padam Shri Kanhayalal Sethia. So the University of Chicago also offer Rajasthani as a subject in the Department of South Asian Languages. And if I talk about Pakistan, yes, they have Rajasthani grammar being taught to their student. And the name of that particular grammar is Rajasthani Kaido. So we have various organizations, those are struggling for the constitutional recognition of this language. We have Rajasthan Chhatra Morcha, we have Rajasthan Bhasas Sangha Samiti also, and Rajasthani Chintan Parishad also, and various other hundreds of literary and social groups. They are engaging in the various dialogues with the government and all, and they demand that constitutional recognition for Rajasthani as a scheduled language should be given. And again, under Article 345 of Indian Constitution, any state has a authority to declare its own language as its official language of the state. If I say about Rajasthani, we don't have that official language of the state as Rajasthani. So yes, we are struggling, and we are continuously putting our concern to the government and to the higher authority. We can take various example also. Goa, through Goa Daman and Diu official language act 1987, Konkani was declared the official language of the state. Even though at that time it didn't have the constitutional recognition. 5 years later, the central government granted it recognition. We can also take Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Meghalaya as an example. In Chhattisgarh also, Chhattisgarhi was declared the official language of that state, but still it is not having the constitutional recognition. Similarly, Jharkhand, Bihar Official Language Act in 2018, Magahi, Bhojpuri, and 17 other languages were declared official languages of that state. Most of them didn't have the constitutional recognition. Meghalaya also did same in 2005. Khasi and Garo, 2 languages are being spoken in that particular state. And yes, they have given the official language status of the state, but they didn't have the constitutional language anyway. So similarly, Sikkim, West Bengal, we can have various example of those. So in conclusion, I want to say that Rajasthani language is not mere a mean of communication. It is a living heritage carrying centuries of culture, wisdom, and identity of the people, of the person of this desert land. So by today speaking in English, I am sure that our international audience can fully connect with this message. And yet my heart remains deeply committed to Rajasthani, and I believe that every effort to preserve and promote it will contribute to the larger cause of safeguarding the linguistic diversity worldwide. So let's remember that honoring one mother tongue is not only about words, it is about preserving the soul of humanity. So finally, summing up, मैं राजस्थानी में एक I want to speak something in Rajasthani. Rajasthani राख्या रैसी राजस्थान अपनी भाषा अपनो सम्मान. It means if we preserve Rajasthani and support its users, we are ensuring the eternity to the Rajasthan, eternity to our mother tongue, and eternity to our valor and courage. Thank you so much. And with these words, I sum up and I welcome the question if there is any.
Thank you, Dr. Nayak. This is a very inspiring and a deeply meaningful speech. Thank you for just highlighting that Rajasthani is our language. Specifically, it was not just a modern language; it has a roots as old as 8th century, right? And you speak about the golden period of 18th century, all these things, where the multiple dialects were important discovery articles. And rightly, you pointed out the challenge what you are facing, that you are struggling for the language, for the constitutional rights, and you have I believe there is some kind of an organizations and something committee is happening on right now recently to just make this constitutional, Rajasthan as a constitutional. So keep up that kind of work, and I believe that definitely in near future that will happen, and everyone has the rights to keep their own mother tongue as a state language. Thank you, Dr.
It's a state assembly in 2003. They have passed a resolution and they have sent it to the central government also. But since so many 23 years have passed, and still that resolution is pending with the central government. That is not getting passed. So yes, but this language is not only of Rajasthan, but this is being spoken in the adjacent part of Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh and Haryana also. Anyway, thank you so much for.
Thank you. The next speaker I'm going to invite is Professor Sikandar Singh. Professor Singh is an associate professor in Department of Punjabi, and he is a dean at the Faculty of Languages at Sri Guru Granth Sahib World University, Fateh Sahib at Punjab. So his areas of research are history of Punjabi language, Sri Guru Granth Sahib studies, and his academic contributions include 4 books, 20 book chapters, 35 research papers, both in national and international, 50 plus conference presentations, and 40 plus invited talks. He also serves as the president of South Asia Language and Cultural Center. We warmly welcome Professor Sikandar. Sir, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Prof. We are here to celebrate International Mother Language Day. Good morning, all. Sat Sri Akal. I am discussing about challenges to Punjabi language in contemporary times, and further we will proceed to the opportunity for it. My speech mainly will focus on the references of East Punjab, and some are from the West Punjab of Pakistan. As we see, the first challenge is for Punjabi language. It is not patronized from any power, any state, any government. In both sides, in Pakistan and in India, it is challenged administrative marginalization. It exists both in eastern and western Punjab. In western Punjab, native language mostly kept out from the government offices. Punjabi, in East Punjab, Punjabi is the official language of the state, but senior officers of administration like IAS officers, they prefer to communicate in English. This is a big problem for Punjabi. Government offices are very important places where people interact every day. When non-native languages dominate in these offices, it creates a gap between the people and their native language. Punjabi is facing this problem. In West Punjab, Urdu interferes in the native language, uh, and both in East and West Punjab, English also creates a distance. Uh, this is a major challenge for Punjabi language. Although Punjab State Language Act allowed and reserve rights of Punjabi, but in practice there are a lot of problems. Second major challenge in the field of education, which we can say it is very serious problem. In West Punjab, Punjabi has been replaced by Urdu since the British period. When in 1854, Britishers introduced in Urdu as a medium of instruction in their newly annexed province. The long absence of Punjabi language from education developed a linguistic schizophrenia in Punjab, especially in West Punjab. Among them, many began believe that they could live, study, and succeed without learning or using their mother tongue. Uh, it is condition of West Punjab and some of the East Punjab. In West Punjab, education system Urdu at primary level uh, and primary and higher both level English become obstacle to use the growth use and the growth of Punjabi language. The negative opinions and blames which were produced by the British officers after 1849 when they annexed Punjab. Uh, Most of them are continued to influence nowadays people's view about the Punjabi. I can tell you some. One that Punjabi is described a dialect of Urdu. Uh, Later, this Urdu word was replaced by Hindi. In Punjab, number of scholars, number of media persons uh, declared that Punjabi is not a language, it is a dialect. But in East Punjab, this is not a big problem, but in West Punjab, this is still a problem. It was claimed that there was no literature in Punjabi when the British introduced their education system. If we see the saga of East Punjab education system where I live, it is more ironical than West Punjab. We know India is a democracy where linguistic rights are reserved in constitution, and three language policy of education does exist. Yet the Punjabi is not healthy uh, in the state and continues to face challenges. Punjabi language in the state, the Punjab State Language Act and its amendments proposed Punjabi in all official purposes of the state. From 1967 to 1995, Punjabi language significantly developed in the school education. But after the fall of Sikh Kharku movement, you can say Sikh armed struggle, which was fought in 80s and early 90s against the Indian oppression on Punjab. The Indian government openly allowed to open private players to open English medium schools in Punjab. And after that, a great shift occurred in education field. Now we can see data. There are 27,000 schools in Punjab, having approximately 69 lakh students. More than 25,000 schools are affiliated to Punjab School Education Board, which taught in medium of Punjabi. There are 1,537 schools are affiliated to Central Board of School Education, CBSE, and 170 schools are affiliated to ICSE. But interesting fact, you can see that there are 36 lakh students in 25,000 schools of Punjab Schools Education Board. But less than 2,000 schools of CBSE and ICSE have 33 lakh students. It is because ICSE and CBSE schools are English medium schools. 27,000 schools have very less students, and 2,000 about 2,000 schools have very high strength of students. This is there is another problem. The government of Punjab approximately stated that 15,000 Punjab school education schools government transitioned to offering English as a medium of education. And 118 schools of eminence and 233 schools of PM Shri schools that are government schools, but purely that are English medium schools. This is a problem ahead Punjab. If you can see the school system of Punjab, especially private schools, it is purely a business. Government schools are schools for welfare of people, but there are very low or less number of students where it is a business, education is a business, the number of students are very high. This phenomena impacts non-profit institution also. Shromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee, that is a Sikh institution. People call it the Sikh Parliament. And, with the pressure of English medium and CBSE school, SGPC started to switch their Punjabi medium schools to the English medium school. We can say this is a big challenge in the field of education, especially in school education. Schools of Punjabi medium that are just only for poor people. People who have money, who are capable to spend, they send their students, their wards to the English mediums. This is a big problem for Punjab. The next problem is that is the National Education Policy of 2020, which you all know outwardly show to the promotes the rights of regional and native language, but in practice it appears to undermine the remaining autonomy of non-Hindi Indian language. Punjabi is facing this problem. It reduced the language teaching to 2 credits ability enhancement course only. And its claims of ensure the primary education in native language is purely a pretense for Punjab. Because if the Indian government is serious for this, then it has to issue the instruction for CBSE or and ICS to offer Punjabi language as medium of education at all school levels. So we can see this is a policy. This is not in practice. In Punjab context, this is purely a problem. Frankly, it seems aimed at reviving Sanskrit and promoting Hindi in place of English. The most concerning part of Punjab is that Punjab government accepted and implemented the National Education Policy 2020. One major aspect that demands attention is the role of private universities in Punjab. There are more private universities than state universities in Punjab. Privatization of education was justified with the argument of autonomy. You all know that autonomy in education. But in reality, the autonomy has not been materialized for education or in education. The in curriculum and co-curricular system that are not autonomous. Autonomy in private universities is only in the areas of business and administration. In Punjab, there are very, very big private universities which has more than 50,000 students. But the medium as mother tongue medium nowhere exists. Rather, some in some universities, Punjabi is not taught as a subject. This is a big problem of privatization of education in Punjab. A significant number of state and especially private banks do not offer their ATM services in Punjabi language. Although people have requested it, their demands have largely ignored. Uh, uh, I tell you, in 2022, I filled my income tax return in English, but it was automatically translated or switched to the Hindi. I received the receipt in Hindi. We see the e-services and the government dominance on electronic media, electronic services. This is purely an interference of Hindi. Hindi is benefited at every level, where central government is government have any right. There have been several attempts when I was introduced and my name was seen by Mr. Drai. He called someone join in Hindi. My name is not written in Hindi. It is written in a Gurmukhi script, which is older than Devanagari script of Hindi. And a lot of books, a great number of books in Punjabi are existed. But there is a problem of Indian state. There have been several attempts by state to write Punjabi in Devanagari script. We see Rajasthani is nowadays writing in Devanagari script. Himachal and Haryanvi are written in Devanagari scripts. This chance creates a problem that these languages are dialects of Hindi. These attempts are made for the against the Punjabi. However, a strong opposition from Punjab, especially among Sikhs, has consistently prevented this. Some challenges are not of structure. Some challenges we facing. I'm working in academics. Some challenges we are facing of the opinions. Some false and wrong opinions are popular in Punjab. Like one, Hindi is a national language of India. In fact, India is not a nation. Neither it had any one national language throughout the history. But in Punjab academics, some popular
A quick time
books,
check for you, sir.
Okay, some popular books creates this problem. I'm briefing my issue. A second problem is that Sanskrit is mother tongue of Punjabi. These are a very big problem in the field of academics. There are a number of challenges. Excessive centralization of power is a big problem in the Punjabi. But we can see that there are some opportunities for Punjabi, like we see Rajasthani, Himachal Pradesh, and Rajasthan becoming are more aware their linguistic rights. This will sign of a decentralization of Punjab, and this will challenge Hindi dominance. If Hindi dominance is challenged, as Professor Rao questioned the data of English, then Punjabi will develop on its path. I have some more issues, but I am finishing here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Singh, for this enlightening and culturally rich address. You just spoke about how in the state itself, Western kind of East Punjabi, that was different, and how private institutions come and put an English medium on top of it, and how it reduced the contributions towards the Punjabi linguistics and the Sikh studies. Those informations are truly invaluable. Thank you so much for joining this call, Professor Singh. So, in spite of the concern of time, I'm just calling Dr. Swarnam Sankarapanti. So, Dr. Swarnam is the Vice President of Architecture at the Multinational Bank in the US, and he resides in Maryland. And his educational professional highlights are he is a PhD in biophysics from IIT Madras, and he has a postdoctoral fellowship in cardiology. He is an MS in computer science from Johns Hopkins University, and he is a former science journalist in New Delhi. His community leadership includes he is a co-founder of Maryland Talent Tamil School. He is an academic county head and teacher. He represents the Tamil at the American University Coalition of Heritage Languages, Washington, D.C. He is the secretary of Tamil Chair Inc., working to establish Tamil chairs in North American universities. It is an honor to welcome Dr. Swarnam Sankarapanti, sir. The screen is yours.
Welcome. Namaste and good morning, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity, Thuraikannan and Prasad. I think I also learned quite a bit from the fellow panelists. I got a different perspective of each language, especially from Bhupender and Dr. Sikandar about Rajasthani and Punjabi language, which I would have never learned about it. And especially Dr. Bhupender pointed out an irony that we all, speak about mother language, but we are speaking in English. That's the point I wanted to make. I mean, after a few years, the technology will make it such a way that we can all speak in our language and we can all hear in our language. So there will be only one language which is really required. So that's the mother tongue. So that's the focus about my talk. Mother tongue is the key for internationalism, because everybody is talking about internationalism is you have to learn many other languages. In fact, we don't really need to learn any other language other than learning very well in your mother tongue. So I want to highlight a few things related to that. I'll just share my screen. I want to share some quotes.
Yeah, the screen is
You
visible.
can see it, yeah. So first I want to quote, two important quotes, like it's cry for revival of the mother tongue. This is some of the indigenous communities. For example, Cree is the most spoken indigenous language in Canada. It's about 80,000 to 100,000 people are still there, and they were concerned, and so it is one of the article which was published in a book from Arizona State University. Grandmothers and grandfathers, thank you for our language that you have saved for us. It's now our turn to save it for the ones who are not yet born. May that be the truth. So it expresses how the loss of your mother tongue, it pains you. And this is the other part of the world. In New Zealand, Maori is another language of Eastern Polynesian group, and in New Zealand. And the Maori people, the indigenous people of New Zealand, they thought they were losing their language. And then in 2000, early 2000, there was a big awakening, and that language is being made as a New Zealand national language. And this is a quote from them: "As long as we have the language, we have the culture. As long as we have the culture, we can hold on to the land." So that's the key. If you lose your language, you lose your culture and you lose your land. Now, this is the message posted by UNESCO in their 2026 Mother Language Day message. Young people are the main guardians of the world's linguistic diversity. They are the inheritors of nearly 7,000 spoken languages, and have the responsibility to keep them alive and pass them on. Still, young people need to be introduced to linguistic diversity, and this begins at an early age through education. So this is the theme for their Mother Language Day for this year, and it's Youth Voices on Multilingual Education. In fact, they requested a lot of investment for this year. Okay, so now global citizenship and internationalism. So in my topic, I mentioned about internationalism. So what is internationalism? We all know that the increasingly globalized world is shaping the very concept of citizenship itself. Currently, the citizen is holding to a particular land, particular nation, but in the current world, the youth population wants to travel, they want to migrate, they want to relocate for jobs, and there are a lot of opportunities in multinational corporations, transnational institutions, and civil society movements and labor markets. So it has generated a sense of belonging to a broader human community, especially among the younger generations. And this trend continues. I mean, it's not going to stop in spite of all the anti-migrant rhetoric in all parts of the world. So these developments carry profound implications for internationalism and the idea of global citizenship. So meanwhile, the engagement across in different cultures, it requires a dialogue between languages. but it's not practical, nor it's feasible for individuals to master all the languages. So that's where the technologies come into picture. The recent advanced technologies such as machine language, machine translation, and AI have made cross-lingual communication more accessible and helping to bridge these divides. And as long as you know how to communicate precisely in one language, which is very essential, a solid foundation for this is the mother tongue. So if you are very good in your mother tongue, that's the key to communicate with the world. So let's see a few examples. For example, this is I will show you some 3 use cases from AI, artificial intelligence, translations. I mean, these are from some pediatric care, medical text translations, recent advances. So you can see the 4 languages which are represented here: Chinese, Somali, Spanish, Vietnamese. And if you look at the bars, the first bar is the translation quality by a professional translator, whereas the second bar is by AI. So the group A is for fluency, quality, and B is adequacy, and C is the meaning of translation, and fourth is the severity of errors. So if you look at the 4 groups, Spanish language is pretty much, there's not much difference between the AI translation and the human translation. The first one is the human and the second one is the AI. And you can see the adequacy as well as the meaning of translation and as well as the errors wise. Whereas the next is Chinese, and Chinese, all of us know, it's the most complex language. In spite of it, they are getting there. The differences somewhat decreasing, and you can see adequacy and as well as meaning and severity of errors wise, and it's expected the difference. Whereas the Somali and Vietnamese, you can see these are kind of underrepresented, or they got less resource. They don't have enough resource. So that's we will see in that the later slides. So this is published in the Journal of Medical Association last year in 2025. Sorry. Okay, so this is another thing. This is a legal text translations. So first one we saw the medical, the legal text translation. Here, the comparison is between English and then Arabic. So you can see that there are the first 3 data set is human translation, and then here is an artificial intelligence translation, and here is the mean value. And we can see that in English, out of the total, the 92.7 is the human translation quality, whereas artificial intelligence AI translation is 89.1, which is not bad, right? They are somewhat close. They reached that level. And then go to the Arabic, the same way, the 3 different Arabic text, and the comparison is 92.2, which is by human, whereas 88.2, which is not too bad. It's still 4% less, but the quality is improving day by day based on the technology, the evolution of the technology, the language model. Now, this is the third data, which is from commercial translation from a translation company. And they have taken 1,000 data points from 30 major languages, and this is how they represented. They used, these are the number of texts. You can see that this is the acceptance by the professional translator. Okay, this is good enough. So 83% of the translation is getting accepted. And you can see Spanish, French, German, Italian, somewhat higher. And you can see Indonesian is 83, Russian, Arabic is 79, which is still not bad compared to the translations. Now, this is my own, experience with Tamil. I mean, I don't have any, there's no study done scientifically by anybody similar to that. I wish they do something like this. I searched for it. I couldn't get it. At least Indian universities should undertake such, comparisons before going in creating a language models. So I personally used ChatGPT right from 2022. It came up for translations, small paragraphs to poems to some articles, English to Tamil as well as vice versa. And I have seen overall the quality of translations, it's getting better every month. And the quality of translation from English to Tamil is somewhat lower than Tamil to English. And I should say, if the source Tamil text is drafted very perfectly or precisely, it depends on how I write it, the quality of English translation is almost close to 100%. I don't even see any difference. So from these examples we reviewed, it is obvious that AI translation quality is generally higher when translating into English than into other languages. I think this is understandable because AI models are primarily trained on English-centric massive data sets, data asymmetry. And also English acts as the anchor or bridge of language, leading to a shortage of high-quality training data for low-resource languages. And the key factors, data scarcity, because digital divide, most of the data is available, almost the volume of data available for English is much, several orders higher than other languages, even compared to European languages. And also the contextual or cultural understanding, coming from English to our own mother tongue or native language, the cultural context is missing when you do it in English to other languages, whereas other languages to English is better. And also often English is used as a target or bridge because, either people want to translate from other languages to English, or any translations between two different languages happen through English. So obviously English is, getting every day a lot of data. And the last, also the vocabulary wise, English vocabulary is well known, well understood by all the language models, whereas other languages, they are still, the words are not still completely absorbed by the data models. And these are some reports. For example, Stanford report complains that AI is leaving non-English speakers behind. This came in last year. And similarly, this is another important report from Israel University. And here they clearly, say at the top of the list, the high resources language, Chinese, Arabic, and French. Of course, English is the first one. And you can also add English, German, Portuguese, Spanish, and Finnish. These languages have large and accessible collections of digital text and transcribed recorded speech. For other 700 languages, the resources are substantially low. And another thing this study finds out, most of the translations are required for the underrepresented languages because, the languages which are the top high resource languages, they already have resources to produce everything in their own, text. So this is another big gap between the high resource language and the lower resource language. So ultimately, if you look at the top 70 most spoken languages, and these languages, English, the top half, they have the resources, or they also have already the language models well developed, whereas the languages below and even further below, the language models still need to be evolved. Now coming to Indian languages, India has 22 official languages and hundreds of dialects, but we are way below. For example, in Hindi and English, we have a lot of It's widely spoken in India, and also the resources are high, spent in large amounts, whereas all other languages are still not enough. And especially the tribal and regional dialects, they are almost does not exist or not digitized. So this is a big gap that has to be addressed. And also the digitalization, also involves how much you, as a native speaker, use your own mother tongue on the internet or in the digital media. Unless we effectively use our own mother tongue in language, and also in a good form, not like a chat room format, mixing with a low quality, without proper syntax. And so high quality usage is very important. And this is a report generated by KPMG, the famous process and data company, with Google in April 2027. In fact, I searched for anything later from them. I don't see any update from them. So this may be a little outdated compared to after 8 years now. And the key findings in this, the user base growth, actually, it says internet in users in Indian language, in fact, surpassed English users. And in 2021, it's already 36 million users, around 70% of the total base in India. And the dominant languages, Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, and Tamil. And I also read another report now, Telugu is also another, dominant language. And content preferences, users show higher trust and engagement with content in their native language. So this is a good sign, particularly for services like banking, government, and news. However, the elite Indian media or even Indian government is not even bothered about spending any money on these native languages in India. And behavioral trends. The rise of regional language usage is heavily driven by chat applications, digital entertainment, and the increased adoption of social commerce, which is actually, in a way, it is good, but it's bad in the way of propagating, the very deformative language when the high quality language is getting ignored in the digital media entertainment. So which is not good for the language models. And barrier reduction. KPMG in India supported initiatives to develop AI-powered multi-language programs to bridge the digital divide, facilitating across to government services in over 220 languages. But I have no idea. When I have searched for it, I don't get any update on this. And digital segmentation. Users are often categorized into digital enthusiasts and digital mainstream who predominantly prefer native languages over English. So people actually like to, get everything done in their native language. Unfortunately, the focus of the government is not there yet. And this is just from the same report. Maybe this is also has to be updated. It's from 2017. And 68% of the internet users consider local language digital content to be more reliable than English. So which is a good sign. People now trust the native language content. And currently, Tamil, 42% has the highest internet adoption levels, followed by Hindi, Kannada, and among Indian language users. I also saw another report. I said, like Telugu also is almost on par with other languages now. But however, the KPMG or Google has to come up with a new study on the same for the current trend. Now, while this is happening, Indian government, we all know that they are pushing for 3-language formula. Why? In fact, there is no need for a third language, no need for a compulsory third language. Even people want to read or study any language, it's fine. And even we don't have to give so much priority for a second language also. Of course, 2-language formula is good. It helps the childhood development better. But the emphasis should be on the mother tongue, the primary language. And here are some details from UNESCO. A language is endangered. There are 3 states, endangered when people begin to use one language more than another, and men may encourage their children to pick the new language. Eventually, the community is using one language, not the other. And this is happening in India very widely. I mean, our panelist talked about the Rajasthani and Punjabi language, which we all have the same concern. And especially the many elite Indians living in the cities, they prefer to use English, I mean, even incorrect English. And then the second stage is language is called moribund. If no children are learning the language as their first language. And currently 6,000 languages are in this stage, according to the United Nations statistics. And third one is the language is dead if there are no living speakers of the language. And last year, we all knew on July 14, this was a big flash news in the US media, the Caddo Nation of Oklahoma announced the death of a Caddo language, which is an indigenous language, Native American language. And the last fluent speaker of the ancient language died when his name was Edwin Johnson in 95. So these are the 3 stages of the language endangerment. Now there are 9 criteria the UNESCO defined. So intergenerational language transmission. I mean, if it stops, this is one of the criteria. An absolute number of speakers decreasing, proportion of speakers within the total population, trends in existing language domains, area of use, response to new domains and media. So this is where the LLM, AI, machine language, they all come into picture. Materials for language education and literacy, government and institutional language attitudes and policies, including official status and use. This is where the Indian government attitude is completely, very retrogressive. And community members' attitudes towards their own language. This is the elite people, they want to educate their children only in English, ignoring the mother tongue. Amount and quality of documentation. This is also that I mentioned about how much good quality mother tongue you can write. So according to this criteria, 10 languages die out each year according by UNESCO statistic. Now, UNESCO also declared made some recommendations. In 2001, they made a universal declaration on cultural diversity, promoting education as the mother tongue to improve the quality of education. Of course, our Professor Maheshwar Rao, he already presented insufficient, proving evidence for this. Encouraging bilingual and multilingual education at all level schooling is a means of further social and gender equality, and as a key part of linguistics diverse societies. And the Hague recommendations also recommend, especially the indigenous minority children who are in economical poor status, will learn even the majority language better if they are taught in their mother tongue in the early. There are a lot of scientific data which shows this. If you learn your mother tongue better, you learn the second language or third language also better. The first years of education are pivotal importance in the child's development. So at elementary, preschool, kindergarten levels, it should be only in mother tongue. And so mother tongue is the key to progress and internationalism. And here comes where if there is a bilingualism, how it should be. It's called additive bilingualism. That is what it's internationalism. Additive bilingualism means, it's the child's mother language is not replaced, but added to. And that means the emphasis should be on the mother tongue. To implement a curriculum that has a truly international perspective, and Ethel Gallagher, she's a recognized authority in the field of ESL, international education in UK, and she recommends she is asking these following questions. What does it mean to us that our school is international? I mean, we often call international school in India, they are not actually international school. They kill the mother tongue, mother language, and they kill the mother culture also. How does that makes us different from other schools? In what ways our school need to change to reflect the cultural diversity of our student population. And how do we view language? Do we see it as a problem or as a resource? So when answering these questions, it becomes clear that multiculturalism needs to exist throughout the curriculum, and the curriculum needs to address racism at every grade level. So this is very important part of internationalism. A key factor is acceptance and respect for all languages, for all other languages and cultures. Now the final word. Preservation is what we do to berries in jam jars and salmon in cans. Books and recordings can preserve languages, but only people and communities can keep them alive. This is a famous quote by another indigenous language scholar from Alaska. That's it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sanam, for your insightful and inspiring message. The way the first you saw the pivot chart, that itself was really inspiring. You took a lot of effort in just putting everything into a spreadsheet, which gives more meaningful information. The reason behind Somalia was lacking behind and Chinese is going up is probably because of also the language, and language leads to the economics and the commerce of the investment towards it. So when the economics plays into picture, kind of language is the foundation to bring out that economics. At the same time, when you compare this AI mission language, the periodics versus the actual test, I believe that domain-specific related language plays a major part, because when it goes to the medicinal-related terms, the average is kind of below 80, but when it goes to the regular, normal legal speech, it always inclines towards more than 80, 85. The reason is probably when we say sugar in terms of medical, that may relate to diabetics, but in the normal day, sugar is different. I believe that understanding the domain-specific related terminologies may lead to that decline and decline differences, I believe. Yeah, so that probably in near future, I think it will incline. And at the same time, I also kind of tend to see that all the chat boxes are probably a Twitter or Facebook. I can able to see a lot of local languages is taking over English, and that's definitely a good sign. So there are a lot of other information what you have given that was definitely, I believe that the participants would have enjoyed that. Dr. Sonam, your lifelong service to Tamil education heritage is truly admirable. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Till now, we have a quick time check. Right now it's 10:30 p.m. at EST hours. I know we planned for 15 minutes, but I don't think that we have enough time to have that 15 minutes. So, but we will now open the floor for questions anyhow. I would like to kind of ask, if you want to ask a question, please raise your hand. We will have one or two questions quickly, and you can also type in the chat. We will just take it. Kindly mention the name of the speaker that you are addressing. We welcome active participation through thoughtful inquiries. So I'll just open the floor for your questions now. You can raise your hands. I have a hand, Mr. Turekanan. You can go with your questions. Yeah.
Thank you, Prasad. First of all, thanks to all these speakers. We had a very insightful research panel discussion today. They went with a lot of data. They put a lot of effort, and I really appreciate this. This one was organized in a very short span of time. And thanks to all these speakers, come up with a lot of insightful information. And also at this moment, I would like to thank Dr. Johar. He joined this call. He was the one really assisted me getting all these speakers from India. So thanks to him as well. One thing it surprised me was with the Dr. Bhupender thing when he talked about Rajasthani. I heard him talking a lot of positive things, and I thought even though the Rajasthani is not a state official language, I did not see anything anything due to Hindi imperialism on Rajasthani. I get a lot of things from Punjabi and other things, but I'm wondering. So, question to him is, how much the Hindi imperialism affects the Rajasthani language today? How much? That is the question to Dr. Bhupender Singh. And also the question to Sankar. Probably Sankar, you can note the you can note the question.
Yeah.
For the diaspora, right, based on the nationalization of the language, do we see a time where we can learn our kids or grandkids will learn all the subject in their own mother tongue in America and other diaspora countries, based on what is going on today with the world and technology, due to those things? Those are the questions to people.
Dr. Bhupender, you can answer the question.
Yes, sir. The question was that how Hindi imperialism is going to affect the dominance of Rajasthani. Perhaps that was the question, but I assume. So yes, to get the official recognition as a state language, they are saying that the script in which you are writing the Rajasthani language is Devanagari only. So yes, because of the similarity in the script, maybe that is the effect, particularly Hindi is imposing on Rajasthani language, and that's all from me.
Thank you.
What are the steps that you are taking, Dr. Bhupender, right now to bring Rajasthani as a state language?
Sir, as I have told initially also, we have formed various fronts, various organizations, and we are continuously in connection with the government. The State Assembly has also passed a resolution in 2003, but still that resolution is pending, and that official recognition and constitutional recognition to this language is yet to be confirmed by the central government. And yes, sir, I want to add one more thing in this. To make this Rajasthani language to be popular among our international audience, we are also translating the Rajasthani literature into English so that people abroad, people from the global perspective, they can understand the rich heritage and the culture and the social dynamics of Rajasthan and Rajasthani people and of this desert. If I speak for myself, yes, I too have translated two major Rajasthani work in English, and yes, various other people are also translating. So we are onto that perspective, and hopefully we will get what we want.
All the best. All the best. Yeah.
Thank you.
Over to you, Dr. Sir.
Yeah, with respect to the question from Durai, I think when it comes to diaspora, there is a little change of mother tongue versus natural language, right? Because in the diaspora, children, wherever they migrate, for example, whether they migrate to the Western countries or from India to, even to other state, the children, when they grow up, they are, kind of in between their heritage mother tongue, while, also there is a natural language outside. So they are kind of between those two. That's why the linguists, they define them as heritage language versus mother tongue. Similarly, they consider, for example, in the US, whatever it is, either Spanish or English, it's become the de facto mother tongue for the children. So it's the best for them to learn in the natural peer language for the children for their own growth, unless they are really extremely good at their heritage language, which is mother tongue. So But however, as far as the technology wise, there is, I mean, as I said, after 5-6 years, maybe, you will see devices automatically will translate everything from one language to another language. So you don't really need, which language you learn, which languages you speak. Will come. But until then, all the language models should evolve in a nicer way. But a lot of work need to be done in that way. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Professor Rao, you are trying to speak. You want to contribute something?
No, with the advent of AI-based large language models trained by machine learning systems, enable seamless transfer of information. So what do we do? What do we need in this context is huge amounts of our language texts, mother tongue digitalized texts should be made available on the internet.
Yeah.
If they are freely available, large number of people are there to involve actually machine learning techniques and then develop large language models assisted by AI systems. And of course, language translation by machines across languages will be available to everyone. Why our systems do not perform today? Professor Swarnam Shankar has shown it. There is about 70 to 85% reliability or about 90%. But you want to achieve the top levels like 99, 98, then we really require actually huge amounts of digital texts of our mother tongues on the internet. Once they are available, of course, we don't have to depend on learning languages, right? Because, you can't learn many languages. One or two is very good to the level of our native language status. So only one thing is today, we need digital texts on the internet. Everywhere, all the traditional texts, modern texts, and any kind of text that we need to communicate on the internet, and they should be available. Thank you.
Thank you. And there is one more question.
Quickly, my question is more of not on the really technology, more of the policy side of the government. For example, right? Only in the Indian Parliament, you can speak in any language, instantly translate other languages for Indian Parliament, but that kind of facility is even not available all the state assemblies. So my question is more of, the United USA or other countries, will they made that as a policy? Okay, the language going forward in the future when the technology is improving so much, right? Will they allow the kids to learn their native language? Will that facility be available in the coming years, right? Probably after 10 years, 20 years. So that's more of related to the government policy, whether you had any kind of article you read it or any such possibility in the future. That's more of
can I say a few words, please?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hello, good day to everybody. This is about large language models and AI. I think AI is very effective in generating content, not merely in languages, in dialects as well. A few days back, I asked Gemini to translate a couple of pages into Rajasthani. It did translate, and then it said that it could translate into different Rajasthani dialects as well if I wanted. And I've tried with many Indian languages, tribal languages, which are nowhere in the scene and nobody is paying any attention to them. But the AI is able to generate content in those too. So we should spread awareness that people should generate content, stories, and particularly children's stories, all kinds of, and translation can be done. We lack this awareness in India, and just awareness can do wonders, I should say. It is so powerful now. It can handle each language, almost any language in the world, whether it is recognized or not recognized. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Passing the question to Dr. Swarnam. Yeah.
First, not a question, just my observation.
No, Duray has asked some question previously, right? Yeah.
I think,
I agree with Joga Singh. Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, I agree with you. I think that should be done. In fact, I think that will change. Again, the question is, it's evolution of politics also, right? Now we have seen, give an example, heritage languages were given a lot of importance in a lot of the universities in the US for the last few years because of the speakers from other languages. But for the current government is changing everything. Now they cut down the funding for all the heritage language programs. So this is a setback. But again, it's a political decision, right? It will change. But I have a lot of hope for the younger generation because they appreciate multicultural diversity. They appreciate racial integrity and all that. Racial unity, so things will change. I think definitely what you are asking will happen someday. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yeah.
Just 2 sentences. I think it may take just an year or two that children will be studying at school in their own mother tongue through AI.
Yeah.
And there will be AI agents. They will be able to teach not merely in languages, in each and every dialect and even in speech variety. AI has become so powerful, and next 1 year it is going to change as much as it changed in previous 10 years. So I see a great hope with AI that all, particularly for this school level education, that all people throughout the world, they will be getting, say, tutorials or lessons or class lectures from the AI in their own speech variety. Whatever the government may do or not do anything. Because the data is, lot of data is being generated just through telephone conversations. It's all going to the AI. And then they have now a lot of literature is being poetry and stories are being written in each speech variety through Facebook and WhatsApp and all that. That is adding to data, and I think within 1 year or so, children will be getting all their teaching work sitting at home in their own speech variety. Thank you.
Thank you. So to answer, I also have a comment for right. So for me, I live in Edison, New Jersey, right? So the school is communicating to me only through Tamil. So yeah. So if there is any communication related to school, leave, opening, closing, or my kids' grade, everything is only through Tamil. So they are not doing anything in English. They are doing it in English. Probably AI is taking over now, and the email communications are even the phone what I receive speaks only in Tamil language, and it says that the school is closed tomorrow in the local language. So they get some inputs initially that what language you speak in the home, and based on that they are just doing it. I believe they mostly do for Hindi, Tamil, and most common languages. I don't know it's happening in other states or not, but it's happening here in Edison.
The first time hearing this news, thanks for that gives a lot of hope. And also, Dr. Jawahir was the one talking earlier. Thank you, sir, for joining this. Also arranging all these speakers and everything. Thank you.
Yeah, one quick thing I wanted to say, even that we should demand the businesses. For example, now that the technology is available, for example, our telephone company or our any business, we should demand them to transact with us in our own language. It should be possible for them to do it. They don't have to have people for that. They can use AI technology to respond to our queries in our own language, right? The problem is, we don't demand. So we should demand for this. As a customer, we have every right to demand in our own language. Then it will change.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Anbu has raised a question that what each one of us to improve the AML development in our own language. I believe Professor Rao provided an input. He gave an answer already. You have to write and you have to have large number of text in the internet. I think Swarnam sir also keeping the information replay. Akhilan, Mr. Akhilan, you raised the hand. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for that opportunity. Yeah, it's a great discussion. All four, right, from different language, everything was Very good. And my question to Dr. Swarna, this is related to he compared that how the human translation and with the AI translation,
Right.
and most of the comparison is for the international languages. So is there any such kind of an analysis for the Indian language so that we can see that still is there any gaps, how to improve that accuracy?
Yeah, I was searching for it. I really couldn't get any of those the sources. I'll keep trying. So I believe. I mean, the problem with I don't know what the Indian universities they are doing it from the perspective of Indian languages. There's only one report. I saw that, but that I didn't have any the original paper. So when I get it, yes, I will post it.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Swarna. So is it possible to get that the presentation? It was too good and informative.
Yeah, I can share it. Yeah, I mean, I'll send it to Durai. Probably he can communicate to the Mandram group. Yeah,
We will share it with you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. So as we conclude this meaningful International Mother Language Day celebrations, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our distinguished speakers, Professor G. Maheshwar Rao, Dr. Bhupender, Nayak, Professor Sikandar Singh, and Dr. Swarnam Sankrapanti for their really inspiring and scholarly contributions. My sincere thanks to all participants who joined from different parts of the world. Your presence made this event truly vibrant and enriching. On behalf of Purachi Kaviyar Bharadhasan Tamil Mandram, I thank you all. Let us continue to protect, celebrate, and pass the treasure of our mother tongues. Nandri, vanakkam.
And we all support the constitutional recognition of Rajasthani language. We are with you.
Yep. That is the news for most of the people.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Everyone was shocked, actually. They didn't know that Rajasthani was not the state language of Rajasthan. Yeah. Unfortunately, Hindi was the state language, and it is hard to believe that even the second language was English, not Rajasthan. Yeah. So